Hi guys, what I want to show you in this short video is uh, to show you how to download Python and to install it on your PC or laptop or Macintosh machine. So here we go. What we do is to visit Python, let me get that right, python.org, and click on Downloads and click on Windows if you're installing it on a Windows machine. And I'd like you to select Windows x86 64-bit executable installer. So we'll do that. See what happens. The download of this might take a bit of time, but we'll be patient. So I'm going to open the file after it's been downloaded. And I actually want to upgrade now because I've already got a version, and the most recent version of Python, which is 3.8.6 on my machine. So I'm going to simply upgrade. If you haven't got an existing version, just go for a straightforward install. And I think the question is whether or not you've got a 64-bit or 32-bit machine, which I imagine you've got an up-to-date 64-bit machine. So it takes a couple of minutes to download all the libraries and all the peripheral stuff. Point about using Python is that it's easy to install, easy to use in the sense it's easy to write Python programs and to execute them in the Python environment, which I'll explain in a few minutes' time. A lot of the development in Python can be done using idle, spelled I-D-L-E, idle. And when you right click on a Python program, you'll be prompted to whether or not you want to use idle to execute and run your program. Again, I'll show you an example of this in a moment. And after you've actually downloaded Python and implemented it, all I ask you to do is to use idle to run the two programs I've given you within the topic 1 folder. Very simple, doesn't matter whether you understand how they work, just have a look at them and try running them, see what happens. So I'm afraid I must have got a fairly slow connection in North London because it's taking quite a long time to fully download. Oh, sorry, it's installing at the moment. It's a good system, worth getting to know. And I'll say a little bit about why we're using Python and what we shall be using after we've learned some Python. And the idea is that we're going to spend about 5 weeks, 1 hour a week, learning the essentials of Python. So I don't know whether any of you have got any questions, but go ahead and fire them at this very early stage. Do my best to answer them. Oh dear, this is quite slow. But a measure of a good computer scientist is his or her patience in problem solving, or patience for the right things and the good things to happen in life. So making a bit of progress now, I think. Here's the documentation. So if you have a look at Python's main web page, you'll see that a lot of documentation and other interesting items are available. Free. Everything's free here. So I'm not quite sure how long we've been waiting here. I thought it was going to take a slightly less time than it actually is. But we are making some progress. I'd be more worried if the green line wasn't moving progressively to the right hand corner. I'm still here, by the way. So just bear with me. Nearly there. Maybe it's because I'm upgrading an earlier version, slightly earlier version of Python. That explains the rather long time which this installation's taking. Bit more progress. Bootstrap, that sounds optimistic. So we could in fact have been spending this time getting to know one another online, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities for doing that later on. Anyway, it's giving us a little bit of a natural break after having studied theory of scheduling of lifts and hard disk drives. And as I said, after we've installed this, we'll have a fairly short presentation on Python, some of the main aspects of Python. So, goodness, okay, so here we go. Special thanks to a particular author. Um, disable path limit, that's okay. So I'm just going to close this up. And hopefully I can now run or execute idle. There we go. There's the manuals. I can't see Python itself. Let's see if it's a bit. It's in alphabetical order. Here we are. Python 3.0, new folder, and here is idle, IDLE, for this 64-bit version. And it's taking a little bit of time to initialize, I guess. And what I shall do is to write an incredibly simple program. And what I'm going to do here is to assign the variable I the number 99 and press return to do that. And what I can actually do now is print the value of I. And you might think this is a bit of a joke. It's displaying 99 on the terminal, but it's a perfectly good program. If I go to my lecture archives, I can actually look for one of the programs I've given you. And what I'm going to do here on LEC1, it's a Python program. As you can see, it's a Python file. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm giving the option of editing it with idle. So I'm going to click on that, edit with idle. And what I get is a new idle window, and what it contains in well, actually most of the lines are commented here. So what I can do is to uncomment by removing the asterisk, uncomment radius, the variable radius, uncomment. No, I'm going to keep that comment in because it's actually an explanation of what's actually happening. Uncomment the line of code. Area is assigned the value of pi multiplied by the value of radius raised to the power of 2. And I want to print out area. We're going to run that. So what am I doing here? Very, very quickly. I'm assigning the value, a few decimal places of the value of pi to a variable called pi. I'm assigning the value 2.2 to the variable called radius, and I'm going to use Python to calculate the value of area, where it's pi times radius raised to the power of 2, then print the value out. So I'm going to just run that program. So click on run module. I think a run module should work. Nope. Okay, source must be saved. Okay to save, yes. So I have to save it, and then the value of radius is 15.205, etc., etc., etc. Nice long decimal number. Expansion of value. So just close down, click. I could have saved that file if I'd wanted to. And that's it. That's all I wanted to show you.